And I'm Travis Atz from Recording King Guitars, and we're here in Tiburon, California today. We're about to head into Eric Schoenberg's shop to talk about two new guitars we're really excited about. Guitars that he was instrumental in designing. This is a single O and a double O. It's called the RP1-626 and the RP2-626. And we're right outside the shop. Let's head on in. Great to see you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you again, Eric.
Back strip looks good.
Something I've done on almost every one of our guitars from the beginning. In the effort to go beyond the traditional specs, the old ways, I mean, some of the best stuff ever was done in the old days, but it doesn't mean it's the only thing. And I sort of wanted, well, first of all, just doing a cutaway. And I was playing old Martins and got into the concept of building guitars. We actually first had them built at the Martin factory, although we were adding extra features. The cutaway was one, but also we were doing hand voicing, and it's only a couple of years really where the neck shape seemed to just be perfect, like 1929, 1930. So I started partnering Dana Bourgeois, and I started the Schoenberg guitars and we started doing OMs, and we made a reputation mostly on OMs. It's just that once the cutaway idea came in for a 12 fret, all of a sudden the 12 fret guitars became my main interest for sure. And so they were made at the Martin factory for a while, and I had a factory, a very small shop in Massachusetts doing it. Now we do them handmade. Each guitar is made by a single builder. To do it right, they became extremely expensive, actually. And we do a lot of beginner stuff here, and there hasn't been a right instrument for a beginner for a long time. One thing is the tradition of taking a little kid and selling him a dreadnought is kind of absurd, which we certainly see a lot. And then a neck shape is a big deal for a beginner. And I was looking to create I've been for many years actually, to create a line of the Schoenberg guitar concepts, but make it affordable. And Recording King came along, and I saw some of the stuff they were doing. It was a very direct connection. It looked like this. These were the people that would do this properly. And so it's a long time dream to get this project off the ground. We talk about beginners, but it's a professional level instrument. Tone isn't magic. It's just that I think there's a lot of misunderstandings, and also this type of instrument is very much misunderstood, but I mean, it's a beautiful thing. This particular guitar is Engelmann spruce, which adds a lot of sweetness and richness to the sound. It's always been a big part of the Schoenberg guitar thing. Each guitar, the woods are chosen for that particular body size, for the kind of sound we're looking for. And it's a pretty subtle thing, but it makes a big difference. Mahogany neck, look at the old style volute. This is hard to do. Inexpensive guitars get the heel shaped the way you want. This allows reach up here. If there's too much wood in here, you're not going to really be able to access the cutaway all that well. It seems like the single O would be demonstrating the concept, and people are more afraid of the single O. Some people say, "Oh,
This is too small."
But it's too small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but these single O's do seem to have pretty strong projection, pretty snappy. What would you attribute that to, do you think?
You know, the smaller body size does not mean a smaller sound, actually. You know, the smaller we get, it's the purer the sound, in a way. It's just a slightly different balance. I think a smaller top has a much nicer high end.
So take us back a little bit. Tell us about this particular body shape and what's so unique about it, and why do you feel so passionate about it?
Well, it starts off with the dreadnought thing. That it was the only guitar out there, which is kind of like, you know, it's fat, it's big, and I still have it happen here at the store all the time. People come in, they buy a dreadnought, and a couple weeks later they say, you know, my shoulder's killing me. So to me, the dreadnought has a very specific purpose. You know, there's some wonderful guitars, but the purpose is more the bottom end kind of a thing. The rhythm. Not that it doesn't work on a guitar like this. Really.
Still can be a strummer guitar.
Right. Increase the scale length, and you're putting much more sound out. Because the string is tighter with the longer scale. You longer string length. It's the scale length is here to here. To get it up to the same note, since the string's longer, you have to turn it tighter to get it up to the same note. And so you're just pushing more sound out of the box. You can hit the guitar harder, whereas the shorter scale, more string excursion, buzzier, floppier sound. Short scale, the sound sort of stays here. And I think the small guitar thing, experience all these years, was based on a shorter scale guitar. The 12 fret body has a fuller sound. It's more gutsy. So for a balanced small instrument, it works better. You know, I don't think there's any reason to do a 14 fret single O model, because we get more guts out of it, more bass. And it's also a very pleasing quality. It's more open. When they squashed the bodies in 1930, Martin took a 12 fret guitar to make the orchestra players, the new kind of music, was the jazz, and they'd been banjo players and they wanted more frets, so they squashed the body from here to here, and that had a change on the sound. It kind of compressed the sound, so it had really nice overtones, high stuff going on, maybe more so than a 12 fret in general. But it's tightened up the quality of the sound. You know, sort of think of it like as a compressor, like when you compress sound in a studio. And well, I played 14 fret guitar. I played OMs for so many years because it was the closest I could come to my 12 fret triple O 45 I had in those days. And yet have the two more frets. And it wasn't until quite a few years later I thought, geez, you could take a 12 fret body and put a cutaway on it and get the best of both worlds. People tend to be, you know, blindsided. They look at things as the way they've always been and think, well, that's the way it should be.
Yeah, this is the guitar.
You know, there's no progress in the world if you look at it like